everyone, it's Anne at Martin House Flowers. Hope you're all doing well. I was going through my videos and I realized that I hadn't actually filmed a cut flower arrangement in a while. I think I've done one with sweet peas a while back, and I have done a couple arrangements last couple days with snapdragons and zinnias. So I thought I would just play around today. I went to the beds over there and picked a few cut flowers that you can see here. I've got some blue salvia, some black prince snapdragons. Most of my snapdragons are almost finished, but I've been trying to remember to cut them. This is my test year for all my cut flowers, just because I hadn't really done most of them before. I had sown cosmos last year, just direct sowed, but I've never done the length of these, the extent of these, I should say. So I've got some white snaps here. Everything is from seed that I grew from seed. Some African violets that I direct sowed in my containers on the patio, and I do have a few in the cut flower beds. So I thought I'd see if I could use some of those. I've got Bennery's giant coral here. Isn't she beautiful? And I did do the wiggle test where you wiggle it from the base and see if it wiggles. But these are clearly nice and stiff. And I did notice that if you let your zinnias grow fully, they get very full and rounded out. You see the layers there? As opposed to picking them when they're probably half the size. Sorry about Eddie back there. He's upstairs barking at the neighbors. This is Johnny's, from Johnny's. It's Bennery's giant bright pink, I believe. And my marigolds that I've posted in my veggie garden, I decided to pick some of those because look at the size of them. They're so big. And my celosia is just, this is about a week old, but celosia dries up nicely. So I saved this from my arrangement from about a week ago, and I will post that arrangement because I did do a couple shorts and I did put a couple reels on Instagram and Facebook. But I love the celosia, and apparently dries nicely. So they're not quite ready in the beds right now. I picked probably the first two. So I think I've covered everything. And so yeah, let's just go along. I do have my 3 favorite go-to vases. This one here, I love this one. The mouth on it's kind of a rectangular oval, and it has some nice kind of that rippled water look to the glass. I picked this up at Home Goods about a month ago, and I know I paid under $10 for it. Found this one too at Home Goods. It came in blue, but I decided to go with this colorway, and I'm glad I did. But I was at Home Goods the other day and I saw another one. I'm like, should I get another one in case somebody wants an arrangement in that and I have to sell it? So anyway, and I have my snips, my clean ones. I keep these for my indoor. I keep a pair of these snips. These are from Farmer's Defense, and I think I got these free when I bought 2 pairs of Farmer's Defense sleeves. So I've already processed the stems. I took off the leaves, but there's a couple buds here that I'll pick off. And I'm not quite sure which arrangement or which vase I'm going to use. I have a couple tall stems and I have a couple small ones, but I've been using this one for my zinnias just because I put like 3 to 5 stems in there. It has a very narrow mouth, but maybe I've got enough to do one big arrangement. So I have done this one with a lot of snapdragons, so I don't know. Oh, and I do have one of those frogs that I should try using. So maybe I'll try the frog in this picture. I don't know. But let me go find that frog and I'll drop it in here as a test and we can all figure out how that looks. So I found my frog. This is one of those traditional tools that a lot of florists used to use. And since this isn't a commercial arrangement, this is something that'll stay home, I'm going to use this. I have a couple of them. Have any of you been on Temu.com? I think when they first started hounding me, I went on there and had a few orders, and each time to fill my basket, I would pick up one of these, and they're pretty inexpensive on there, and it's pretty sharp. So I have two of them. They come in a box like this, and I think I paid maybe $5 for it. So I've already put some water in here. I'm going to drop in this frog, and sure enough, it went upside down. So I'm going to turn it. There we go. That didn't take too much. And I'm going to work on my new tablecloth here, which just because I love the colors. I picked up this tablecloth from April Cornell, which is an old brand that I used to have a tablecloth from years ago and found them. And they're just, I have a couple dresses from there, and they had a sale on their tablecloth. So I thought this is a nice spring summer one. Anyway, I digress. So I'm going to start with I think this coral zinnia. And I hate to cut it, but I'm going to. So it's definitely too tall. It's working nicely in there. So I'm going to do my focal flowers first. And there is room in there. It sort of floats around. The frog isn't wide enough for all of my flowers, but these main ones I think work nicely. So here's one that I didn't put netting on my zinnias, and this is what can happen. You can have some that aren't straight up, but I actually like the stems that are a little bit bent, because they just, to me, they have a really nice natural flow to them, nice curve. And I do have one of those rotating Lazy Susans that I use for cake decorating or cake icing that I keep saying I'm going to use. I don't do enough cakes in the summer. So, but this is a pretty small pitcher or vase. And sometimes if you've got a big arrangement, it's nice to put it on one of those Lazy Susans because then you can twirl them. So I started with my 3 zinnias. I guess I need to take off more of these. I don't think I picked enough snaps. The most common tool that I use when I'm making arrangements is to just take some floral tape or scotch tape, whatever tape you have, and just create a grid. I haven't yet used the method of making a frog or using chicken wire and, you know, doing a sort of like a frog where you roll it, you squish it, and you put it in the mouth of the vase. and I think it's fairly easy to do. I just haven't picked up any material yet, any chicken wire. So I've been watching. I follow Annette on Coto Verde, and she's in England, and she does a great cottage garden YouTube channel, and she did one recently on snapdragons, and she featured black prince, and I commented on her video because she's, oh my gosh, she had done a ton of varieties. I'd only done maybe 3 or 4 varieties of snapdragons, and I haven't done any of those uh, what are they called? The Madame Butterfly ones. And I'm curious if which you guys prefer. I find Madame Butterfly very frilly, and it's not sort of the traditional snapdragon that I'm used to, that I grew up with, but I might try them. Um, I ordered this year my seeds from a few sources. I ordered them from Johnny's. I ordered them from um, and I did a lot from MI Gardner, as well as, because MI Gardner ships for free if you spend $20, which is super easy to do. Uh, and I ordered mostly from Baker's Creek because, as most of you know, if you order from Baker's Creek, they are really, they've got a great strategy where they always ship for free. So you'll order, $5 or sorry, $20 at a time, and next thing you know, you're ordering 5 times, and you've spent $100. Because sometimes we don't have a lot of time to invest in selecting seeds, and I just like to do it little at a time. And I know I should just, start my basket and progressively work at it over a week, and I think that's what I've done with Johnny's. With Johnny's this season, I bought a ton of supplies as well, so I was able to hit their $200 minimum. I love these little African daisies. See the blue center? So these haven't quite fully opened, so when there's a bud there, I'm going to go ahead and use it because it makes a nice filler. Yeah, I'm glad I did this because I haven't done a multi-bloom arrangement yet. I love doing same varieties, like all snapdragons, all zinnias. I love doing arrangements like that because it makes sort of the way I garden too, or landscape. I do mass plantings. It just makes a statement when it's all the same. But I finally have enough, a nice variety, where I can do a bunch of different ones. So yeah, I'm liking this frog. So as part of this video, I'm going to show you my next project by the greenhouse. I started a bed, a no-dig, no-till bed, just literally 2 days ago. I have that little area right at the front door of the greenhouse where I've got 2 or 3 containers, and they were just sitting on the grass. Eventually, I finally put some cardboard down, and I was just gonna, I waited out the rain one day, and this is a Cosmo that I don't think is usable. It's really short, but I think I just brought it in because it was so cute. Let's just throw that in there for distraction. Um, so anyway, uh, I ended up going around the corner and creating a bed the length of the north east side of the greenhouse, which directly faces my hedge of little lime hydrangeas, where I have like 10 shrubs there, 10 little limes. And I just laid down the cardboard and then I edged it. There's a funny clip where I was pogo sticking on the famous edger, the Martin edger that I love to hate because I keep telling my husband that I'm not heavy enough to use it. So he insisted I try it. And so here's the one Cosmo that was just opening up. That's maybe not going to work, but it's kind of interesting. So it hasn't opened up yet. But I kind of like it as a filler, just for interest. So I'm going to end up using all of these. So anyway, I've been researching, as I'm sure all of us gardeners do. I've been researching the last couple nights as to what type of hydrangea or perennial that I should put in that bed. And it's a 12-foot length of the greenhouse, and with the corners, which I've already decided to put in. I've ordered from Heirloom Roses my 2 roses that will be on each corner. One of them is Louise Odier, which is a French, what do they call it? It's a French, there's an aphid. Oh my goodness. You're going to have to, oh my goodness. You have to get that. Oh, aphid's flying. Aphid flew. It should die in the air conditioning. Yeah, Louise Odier, which is a bourbon rose, which is a very old-fashioned rose from France. It started in France. So anyway, I've ordered 2 roses that will grow 5 feet, and my dilemma is which of the compact hydrangeas that I've narrowed it down to should I use for that bed. So that's coming up in this video. That's my husband who walked in and is trying to be quiet and isn't succeeding. What do you think, honey? Is it pretty? I'm using this frog, which is an old tool that florists used to use. Look at, and it has like little porcupine nails on them. And I bought a couple of them for my flower arranging, and now is a perfect opportunity. I put it at the bottom of this. So yeah, I'm using my whole bunch of flowers I cut. So it looks like I cut enough. There is the bright pink zinnia, Bennery's giant zinnia. So ideally when you cut flowers, getting back to cut flowers, you should cut either in the morning or in the evening, where it's not, when it's not too warm, because you're going to get some wilting, more chances of wilting. I think I'm going to move that one over here because I have 3 zinnias that face there. So I'm all over the place. And the other thing you decide if you're going to do an arrangement is, do you want it to be balanced where you can see it, it's going to be pretty all the way around, or is it just going to be a one-sided? So this one, I'll probably put probably on this table because I think it looks beautiful on this tablecloth. So I think I just like it. I want it to be as pretty all the way around. So clearly I have a hole right about here and I need to fill it in. So if I don't have enough filler here with this celosia and the last snapdragon, I'm going to have to run out and get more. But I think I can fill it with this celosia right there. Oh, so pretty. And this super tall orange one that is bent is so cool. Look at it. I'm gonna cut her down. So it was an extremely hot day today. Getting back to my dilemma about the, is that too tall? I think it's kind of cool. Kind of crooked, kind of wonky. Makes it interesting. Yeah, I like that one. I have two of them. So getting back to my dilemma, I've narrowed it down to firelight tidbit, I believe, and which grows to around 2.5, 3 feet. I want to do something compact that will be no taller than three feet, because if you recall, once you see the greenhouse again, it has a 2-foot knee wall with our stone that matches the stone of the front of our house. And so I don't really want to cover that up. And I also don't want a shrub that's going to, cover up the glass wall, even though I do want some privacy from the neighbor. So I was all set on either of two tiny quick fire and firelight tidbit, I believe. So I went to a local nursery today, and they had both of them there. And as I suspected, the pictures of tiny quick fire, which is the shortest of them all, the most compact of all panicle hydrangeas, the pictures were not exciting. And so I thought, I really need to see this in person if I can before I invest in 3 of these shrubs. So I went over to one of our local nurseries, and they have the greatest selection, but boy, are they expensive. And they only had 2-gallon or 3-gallon pots. And I don't want to do that, because then I would have to enlist my husband in digging the holes, and I want to be able to dig the holes myself. Ideally, I order or buy 1-gallon pots, because they're so manageable and I can dig those very easily. So there you go. I used up all of my African daisies. Got a couple here. I've used 1, 2, 3, 4 zinnias, 5 zinnias, 2 celosias, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stems of snapdragons, 2 marigolds, which are great fillers. They're nice and bright. 1 cosmo, just because they're not really ready. And I think it's pretty. Let me know what you think. I think I like this as the front, but let me take a look from the top. Yeah, I'm gonna clear the space here. I'll show it from this angle because the front of the table is kind of a mess. So yeah, I love how this sort of is a little bit crooked, and this one veers over there. So let me know what you think. So this is the side of the greenhouse that we are probably going to leave alone for the next year, because Eddie likes to hang out in this spot over here on this piece of grass. And we do have these 3 Let's Dance Skyview hydrangeas, and at the corner right in front of these hydrangeas I plan to put one of 2 roses that I ordered, and I think Louise Odier that I talked about can handle a little bit of shade. Other one is called Delish, and whichever one can handle shade will probably go on this corner. And as I mentioned, they grow to about 5 feet tall. And so then if Louise Odier is on the other side, Delish would go in this corner. And I did pick up, thanks to my friend Jen at My Pretty Little Garden, or Pretty Little Garden is her YouTube channel. And she, in her last video, had her Roseanne hardy geraniums. And I know I've seen them before, and she said that they bloom continuously. So I actually picked up today from my local nursery garden market in Sycamore. Barb, she orders things for me. So my dilemma is in deciding which panicle hydrangea to go with, either tiny quickfire or firelight tidbit panicle hydrangea that I've shown here. So they both grow to 36 inches high. So at this corner, I did pick up this Proven Winners white chiffon Rose of Sharon at Lowe's. It was on half price. Wasn't much to pick from there, but I will plant this at the corner here because it grows fairly tall but remains slender. And then next to that will be whichever hydrangea I choose, and the Roseanne geraniums. So we're back to this corner here. Again, this will be likely the Louise Odier rose at this corner, and then this side here with the grass, it's about a 5-foot distance to the patio. We'll leave that alone so that Eddie can have his little area to just lay down and hide from the neighbors' dogs when they get barking. And here he is this morning, where it was a hot walk. It was a hot day and he was just dying to get inside. There he is.